might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service, interests, and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening and welcome to Checkered Flag Esports Network as we are sitting here at Oulton Park waiting for the GT3s, and thanks very much to Aerial Auto Art, Outlaws Slot Cars, Aussie Outlaws and Lucas Oil. And this is Steve Hoppett. Yes, you recognise the voice. And I've been around for a while and you've heard me a couple of times. I'm in the booth here at the moment with James Watson on the mic and Kobe Jordan pushing the buttons. And this is probably a great time to bring James Watson in. And don't try to adjust your audio. Yes, he's an American. He's got an accent. How are you, James?
Hi. I don't know if accent is what you want to call what my voice sounds like, but yeah, sure, let's go with that.
Well, we're still in warm-up here at the moment as there was a server issue, and that's been sorted out again by the admins. So we've got the guys out there, and for anybody who hasn't actually done any real practice here at the track, this is going to be pretty difficult for them. The forecast is rain, James, so that's going to make it fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna make this race absolutely chaotic. And that's saying a lot because races at this place tend to get chaotic already. This track is not for the faint of heart. It takes a lot to get through it, especially into the chicanes, islops.
Well,
You have to
especially-
be so pinpoint perfect. Otherwise, if you cut in just a little too early, you're going to demolish your front end.
Well, especially over a 55-minute race, the guys are really going to have to get it right early on because Oulton's not a bad track. I don't mind it. I've run there in the past. But, yeah, once again, like anything, if you don't get it right early on, you are going to pay the price. We're looking at 75% fuel capacity and 3 sets of tyres over the 55-minute race. And I haven't seen what the lap times are like, James. So as far as laps are concerned, probably looking at about 40 laps or so.
Yeah, that's what I'd wager. Lap times here in the GT cars usually tend to be around a minute and a half. So you'll be able to get a decent amount of laps in. It'd be interesting to see how much the fuel comes into play in this one, if it comes into play at all.
And you can see from inside the cars there at the moment, the guys getting fairly used to the track, although I'm imagining quite a few of these guys would have actually gotten a bit of pracking in during the week or at some point in the last couple of days to familiarise themselves with it, get used to it, know what they're doing. As we take a look at one of the Mitch Motorsport guys getting the job done in warm-up before we head into qualifying. And we're going to go to the series points very shortly. Just say good day to a couple of people that are in the social media so far already, sitting in the live chat at the moment. We've got Abigail Foster. Good day to Abigail. She's an avid watcher of most of these races, especially when Edward Foster is in it. Good day also to Jake Ashton Place and John Gallen. How are you, John? Thanks for joining us very much in the live chat tonight.
I tell you, while you were reading off the social media correspondence, I saw someone completely get the chicane wrong. If you guys were able to see it, that's a good preview on what we're probably going to see a lot of tonight. Just a whole lot of blowing that chicane, especially with the wet weather wreaking havoc.
Oh yeah, when that rain hits, that chicane is going to be very important. What's also important is the Pro Series points at the moment, and you've got those up on your screen as we scroll through that. We're going to take a look at the Pro-Am here in a moment as well. Steve Banks leads the series at the moment, and he's got lots of competition out there. He's going to want to get it right again tonight. And the Pro-Am series, Peter Pavlovic, I hope I said that right, Pavlovic, leading the Pro-Am class. So Adam Ariel bringing up the tail end of that 26-car list for the Pro-Am. But we're early in the season, so anything is possible. And we'll see how they venture through the rain-soaked part of this race as well, James.
Yeah, you know, the point standings always tend to look one way at the first few races, and Lord knows they're not going to look anywhere like that towards the end of the season. And it's especially going to be the case tonight. You know, the rain, that's going to be such a wild card. A lot that these drivers are going to have to get used to, figure out. So it could full on flip what we just looked at.
Just taking a look at some of the lap times, you're pretty much bang on there. We're looking at the top two guys at the moment in warm-up. So, of course, these are not in any particular order. But Pringle in the pro class on a 135 at the moment. Fit on a, well, he's got a 256 there, but there was somebody else there on a 132. So those lap times, yeah, you said about a minute and a half. So, yeah, pretty much bang on with that. Edward Foster, Bottrell, Josh Micklemore is in there. Gary Wellman, I see. Jamie Nankervis, Stephen Williams. We've got Martin. And, of course, Carl Wilkinson Whitty out in the field there as well. We just saw the weather there, and I didn't notice it in time, but if we get that overlay to pop up again, I'll take another look at the weather. Thank you very much, Mr. Jordan. And it's a 2.66 mile track, makes it somewhere around the 4K mark. And we are looking at some ugly cloud there, according to that. Air temp at the moment, 66 degrees Fahrenheit, and track temp, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're looking at somewhere around the 18 degree mark in Celsius for the air temp. It's nice and chilly out there is basically what it says. We've got a northwesterly wind direction at the moment. The wind speed's hovering around the 12 mile per hour mark, and obviously the sky is overcast. And yes, I believe I did mention that the forecast is for rain. So, I mean, it's not just the chicane though. There's any part of this track when that rain hits, it's going to be really a case of getting it right. We've got several nice and tight right-handers on this track as well as that chicane. So the wet weather's going to make a huge difference. And the guys have actually been off onto the grass in a couple of those spots, even in the dry.
Yeah, they're just doing a little bit of a reconnaissance, so they know what they're going to be in for if they go off when rain is coming. Yeah, like you said, there's a really unique blend of corners here. That's what kind of sets this track apart from a lot of other tracks on the circuit. It's a very diverse mix of corners.
Well, this is the best chance for them to push it to the edge and find out what they can and can't get away with. But all that is going to change when the wet weather comes.
Precisely, and that edge is going to be a lot closer and a lot sharper.
Yeah, a lot closer. I mean, I think the early part of this race, while it's still dry, as long as it is dry when the race starts, it's probably going to be the best opportunity for a lot of these guys to really put their best foot forward. And you'll find out who is really in control of the vehicle when that rain hits, because that can completely turn the race on its head, James.
Yeah, the slightest little mistake can completely kill your race. Like, you think you've got a good handle on the car, you think you're taking it easy, you think you're hitting the marks, but if you're just that little bit late on your brakes, if you turn in a little too early, everything can go pear-shaped before you even know it.
Yeah, we've already got somebody into the Armco there during warm-up in one of the Porsche cars. Looked like a DPR car, actually. It could have been Stephen Williams. But, yeah, he's clouded the Armco pretty heavily there, so he's in the pits, and we'll see how he progresses from this point on. But Pringle's still pushing the 132s. He's high 132s, but that's what he's actually putting in out there at the moment. But we've got Fit sitting on a 129, so that's a big time discrepancy. I'm not quite sure how we came about that.
Yeah, the lap times on the graphics don't quite to be adding up there.
Well, he could have gone off onto the grass and had an off track or something like that, which would have account for the extra time on that lap. Ed Foster's put in a 130.5. Yep. Right, so that's last lap, not best lap. Okay, so...
yeah, that explains a lot now.
Yeah, it certainly does. But yeah, still getting a few off tracks out there as the boys push the limits of the track to see what they can get away with. Somebody getting out of the way there as a couple of the sim rigs cars come through. And we've got a fairly good mix of vehicles out there tonight too, James. There's a few Porsches, but I'm noticing a few AMGs, several Audis out there as well. So that's also going to make things interesting when the wet weather comes. There's a couple of BMWs as well.
Yeah, that's what's always cool about the GT car races is you have such a huge, diverse mix of cars, and you're always going to have your meta cars that people tend to gravitate to, but it's nice to see a good mix of manufacturers out there, especially for someone that doesn't drive one of the meta cars.
And of course, each of them have their own characteristics depending on the track conditions and stuff as well. Some brake a bit better, some handle a bit better under braking, some handle a bit better under acceleration. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they go. Why the GT class is so popular as we follow a couple of these guys through the chicane and heading around towards the back half of the circuit. And we're going to just take in a couple of ads before quali. So stick around, hang around a bit. We've got some great racing coming up and some very tricky weather on the way.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
I used to have to go in to the auto parts store. Pay too much, never find quite what I'm looking for. Now I just go online to Rock Auto and see all the parts my car will ever need. Lower prices, more parts, more brands. It's so easy to find the right parts fast. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Oh, welcome back. We are going into quali as the boys file out of the pits. And this is going to tell the story of how we get this race started. Looking at those skies are getting ever uglier. And we are brought to you by Aussie Outlaws. And thanks to our sponsors, Outlaw Slot Cars, Aerial Art, Lucas Oils, as we follow some of these guys as they on their outlap at the moment, James.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how everyone get the proper gaps they need to put in a good quality lap. You know, it's such an underrated thing, trying to make sure you have a good gap to the cars around you so you can focus on your lap and not have to be distracted, focus on where the other cars are, even deal with a little bit of dirty air. Like this, yeah, you're not getting a representative lap from all of this. And it's a lot of cars on this track in this open qual session. And this track isn't exactly all that big. So there may be some hurt feelings here at the end of the session.
Well, they'll start to spread out throughout the session, which will actually make things a lot easier to see the times tumble as we get to the close of qualifying and get closer to actual race time. At the moment, with everybody going out at the same time, of course, they're all fairly close, so nobody's really looking at putting in that hot time just yet. They've got plenty of time to do so. Go on. So we're following Jackson Pringle in car 246. And he's got a P after his name. In case for those viewers who don't know, the P after the driver's name means they are in the Pro class. Without it, they are in the AM or Pro-Am class. Jackson's got some pretty clean air there at the moment. He's probably got one of the best advantages in the field for the qualifying, because he doesn't actually have any of the other vehicles in front of him, while the field still strings itself out a little bit. Guy's positioning himself to get a really good hot lap in at some point, without any interference from other cars also running their qualifying lap, as we see some more cars who have gone into the pits and coming back out, and some who are coming out for the first time on their warm-up lap. And they'll, of course, stick to one side, keep out of the way, and let the other cars pass. They should have a blue flag to let them know that there is a faster car on a timed lap coming up on them.
Yeah, it's always been one of the most stressful things for me in open qual sessions is when you're the car coming out of the pits and you're just trying to focus on trying to do everything you can to get your tires up to temp and trying to make sure that you're just not getting in the way of anyone else. Like, it's the worst feeling when you end up messing up someone else's qualifying run. And so you always have to keep your eye on your relative. Honestly, you're looking at the relative more than you are out the front windshield when you're in that scenario.
So Mark Foster there at the moment in the Porsche, and Mark Johansson. And following Blake Fitz in the 686 at the moment, sitting currently 11th. Brad Cooper, who's not put in a time yet, so he's not been placed.
Oh my goodness!
But yes, wow. There it is. And we are told that the rain is coming down on the circuit, which explains that little hiccup there.
Let the chaos begin.
So the guys will be, they've missed their chance. Anybody who put in a good lap in that first couple of minutes there is probably pretty happy with himself right about now. You can actually see the spray off the tyres from the wet track. which we were seeing right before we had those two cars come together. So that's going to change a lot of things in the remainder of this qualifying session. Oh, fantastic camera view there. So the rain has come early, James, early.
Yeah, this session is pretty much useless if you're trying to get your spot on the grid, but this session is a lifesaver because this is getting you acclimated to how the track is going to be in the wet conditions. This is no longer a qualifying session, this is an extra practice session, and one that will be life-saving to everyone on the grid.
Well, they're going to have to get used to how these things feel. Mind you, we still seem to have a bit of sunshine around, so how heavy the rain's going to get and how long it's going to last is anybody's guess. And good day to Temper, who's joined us in the live chat as well. Yeah, he's got the comment in there, great camera work. That really, when I think it was Jason Martin who actually pulled suddenly to the left there to go around one of the slower cars, and we copped a bird's eye view of how that went. And that was a bit of a heart stopper there for a second. So it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, it almost looks as though the track's dried out a little bit. The range might have let up because I'm not seeing a lot of overspray coming off these cars at the moment. So it may have been a gentle shower. We'll get a heavy fall later on, which is what is actually believed that we're going to get. So if the track has dried out a little bit, this will be a chance for anybody who's eager, and the field seems to be fairly spread out. Just try and get that lap that they really want for a starting position. If we've got cars in the pits, cars coming in, going out, as we follow Jason Martin, who's currently sitting in 5th in the qualifying in car 21. Best known for his NASCAR exploits, but quite handy behind the wheel on the road racing side of things as well.
Yeah, going back to what we were talking about earlier, this is now a lifesaver for those that did not get a chance to put in a good lap time at the beginning of the session. Like, you think you're about to start like down in the 20s because the rain came, but now it might be gone just enough where you can get that one last crack at it until it starts to rain again.
Well, I'm seeing some 129s on the previous lap for Bradbury and Foster, or Edward Foster, since we've got about 2 or 3 in the race. I'm going to guess that, yeah, that 129.7 by Ed Foster must be getting pretty close to where we're going to see the front runners get this race started. There's Ed now in the BMW. Currently sitting 5th. Not sure what his best lap is, but his last one was a 129.753. The guys come in, take advantage of this long quali session, and it is raining again. I had a feeling it might have been. It looked a little bit hazy, but I wasn't sure. But we're definitely seeing the overspray off those tyres now.
Here comes the rain again. That's all I'm legally allowed to say without us getting a copyright strike.
Yeah, no, we can copyright on that. And the boys have got the lights on. Oh, yeah, somebody's cut through the chicane doing some lawn mowing. Yeah, it was Ryan Jones there. Currently placed 2nd in the standings for qualifying, but wasn't able to hold it through that chicane. I've got a feeling it might have had something to do with the two cars that were very close in front of him. The boy's getting very loose there at the moment as they try to push things to get that little bit extra out. We continue to follow Ryan Jones there in the number 11 in the Porsche, also in the Pro class. Yeah, that rain's starting to come down pretty well now. The wipers have managed to do their job. The boys have got the lights on, so we'll see how things progress in the rest of this session. We've got about 9 minutes left on the clock. And I think that's Andrew Dyson in front of Ryan Jones. So we've definitely got the water on the track now. So that brief little couple of minutes there where it dried up, not really doing anybody any favours. Andrew Dyson sitting back in 30th position as Ryan Jones runs off the track again. Very slippery out there.
Yeah, super slippery. Now it's a practice session for the race.
It's the one you were talking about earlier. We've got some decent rain on the track now, so the boys can actually get more of a feel for the cars, James.
Yeah, now you know exactly what this car is going to be doing during the race. This is going to be huge for everyone involved.
So far, what the car's going to be doing is sliding all over the place. Ryan Jones having a hell of a time with the rear end of that Porsche.
Yeah, well, big save. More big saves. Big saves, big moments, big fear.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say would have been better off parking it and starting further back. Wait for things to happen at the front in this weather.
Pit lane start for the win.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Ryan Jones actually does exactly that. He's actually pitting. And he's currently sitting second on the timesheets. But I think he might have had enough of the way that car is, and he's either making some tweaks to it or he's happy with what he's done so far. Phil Otto in car 13, making his way around the track at the moment. Also in, I think that's the BMW. And Phil has yet to put in a time in qualifying. And so far, the order in qualifying, we've got Pringle, Jones, Williams, Douglas and Bradbury are your top five in qualifying at the moment.
Yeah, look at Douglas. He's an AM. He's up there in the top five. That's a heck of a run. In fact, we've got...
Well, his last lap was a 1:22.3. That's enormous.
Yeah, we have, I believe, 4 AMs in the top 10, if my tired brain is looking correctly.
Yeah, Dave Douglas in the AM class, who's very happily sitting there in 4th place at the moment in qualifying. As he pilots that Audi around in the wet. He's doing a hell of a job of it. Ed Foster back to 6th place. Jason Martin 7th. Fitt 8th. Bottrell 9th. And M. Foster in 10th. So that rounds out your top 10 for qualifying at the moment. But the rain's definitely hampering the efforts out there at the moment. And we've got a few unexpected people up high. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 4 AM class in the top 10 of qualifying at the moment. So that's great to see. Mixes things right up. The rain really is starting to level things out here.
Yep, the great equalizer. That's not equal. The grass is never equal.
Bottrell decides to do some gardening. Sitting in 9th at the moment, but he won't be too happy with what happened there.
The world's most expensive lawnmower.
Joshua Fitz currently sitting 8th in the Porsche. And considering the wet conditions in qualifying, I'd say he'll probably be happy to hang on to that 8th. with a 55-minute race ahead of them.
Whoa. I saw someone in the background getting very... he didn't hit the tire barrier, but he sure came close. He wanted to.
The leaderboard is displaying previous lap, the last lap, not the best lap, for the comments that are in the live chat at the moment. As far as those low times of 7.3, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Yeah, Carl Wilkinson Withy, quite happy he went out early.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, yes.
we're good. We didn't hit anything.
Yeah, Josh Fitt very out of control there, sideways through that right-hander. With about 3.5 minutes left on the clock for the qualifying session, yeah, these guys have got to be pretty keen to still be out there. Personally, it would have frustrated the life out of me. I think but they need to practice how the car's going to go, get a feel for it. It's going to be wet during the race as well. We've got somebody off to the left-hand side there. And Peter Pavlovic in the AMG. And he's still putting in the effort there. And you can, great camera shot from behind the car. You can see how heavy that overspray is off the tyres. And Peter sitting 20th at this time on the leaderboard. But yeah, you don't know what's going to happen during the race. So
yeah, these laps are just going to be crucial. Like I said, you're not going to get anything on the timing charts, but these extra laps might be what saves your behind during the race.
yeah, I don't know whether these guys are even thinking about times at the moment as Blake Fitz loses it and gets himself off to the side of the track. He's put in a time good enough to be starting 11th at this point. We'll see what happens over the next couple of minutes, but he's off on the exit road there and trying to get it back onto the bitumen. But fortunately, he didn't make contact with anything, so no damage to the vehicle. Just a bit of crap on the tyres that he's got to worry about. Tristan Koch very slowly and hanging off to the outside there in that number 550 AMG Mercedes, sitting 29th on the leaderboard. Just following Tristo as he makes his way around. Now we're looking at James Lawrence in car number 12, sitting 17th on the leaderboard, making his way through the chicane there at the moment. Quite gingerly too, I might add. Probably the smarter move.
Yeah, I don't think you can do anything but gingerly at this point.
I think it's all about just getting used to how the car's going to handle these conditions at the moment, James. I don't think anybody's, well, most of them at least, not out there trying to set the world on fire. They just want to get a feel for the car and the tyres and everything and how it's going to work for them on the wet road.
Yeah, I think this is them putting the world on fire. It's just someone's trying to put water on the world on fire.
Well, yeah.
You can't park there.
There we go. Yeah. Pushed a little bit too hard coming up there, and that little kink in the track got him.
It's such a deceptive turn one. Like, every time you think you got it, oh, look, there's the grass.
Yeah.
And it makes qualifying on the, oh my goodness, that
Oh.
Yeah, that didn't look good. Well,
Yeah,
qualifying's over. It doesn't matter.
that would have hurt. Okay, we're just going to pay some bills at the moment, so stick around. We'll be back in a couple of minutes, and we'll grid up for the race.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back. Here we are, and we're just about to grid up for the race from Oulton Park, the Aussie Outlaws GT3 series, and on the Checkered Flag Esport Network. And thanks very much to Aerial Auto Art, Outlaw Slot Cars, Lucas Oil, and there's another one, and I've just gone blank on it, so my apologies. I'll get that in a minute. But it will come up in the top left-hand corner of the screen. And Greer's up, and we go with Jackson Pringle from first, Ryan Jones starting also alongside him on the front row in second. We got Tom Williams and Dave Douglas on the second row. Robbie Bradbury and Edward Foster on the third row, and 35 and 53. We've got Jason Martin and Joshua Fitt starting 7th and 8th. And behind them is Nick Bottrell in the 225 and Mark Foster in the number 50 starting 10th.
And starting 11th, it's the 686 of Blake Fitz and the 31 of Josh Michaelmore. In row 7, we got the 17 of Stephen Banks and the 66 of Scott Leifber. I think it is. My apologies. Row 8, Mark Smith in the 07 and Thomas Foster in the 400 car. Row 9, James Lawrence in the 12 and Gary Wellman in the 45. Row 10, we have the 555 of Damian Cross and the 216 of Peter Pavlovich. Row 11, the 98 of Stephen Williams and the 274 of Luke Georgeson. Row 12, 33 of Phil Bissett and the 34 of Brad Finley. Row 13, the 8 of Jamie Nankervis and the 65 of Carl Withy. Row 14, Greg Spencer in the 029 and Mark Johansson in the 14. Row 15, 550 of Tristan Cook and the 41 of Andrew Dyson. Row 16, Phil Otto in the 13, Christopher Ireland in the 23. Row 17, Matthew Raymond in the 83, Brad Cooper in the 093. And on the last row of the grid, starting shotgun, the 80 of Naughty Tompkins.
So a big field, 35 cars there, James. It's going to be very interesting. And lap 1, as the boys are away, we're going to see how this goes through the first couple of corners and coming into that chicane, especially in these wet conditions.
Well, we all survived turn 1. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think everybody was being pretty cautious through there.
So far, no chaos. Look at them.
Yep, so far so good. Everybody's making a clean start to this one.
Oh, pass for the lead.
They know there's a long way to go.
He was looking. Great opportunity for Pringle to try to see if he can take the lead. Looking real racy in lap 1 in these conditions.
Ryan Jones managed to stay in front of him though and continues to lead this from Pringle.
Good defensive driving by Jones right there.
Meanwhile, Williams is sitting back there in 3rd place, and he's got his hands full with Dave Douglas, who's managed to hold that 4th spot off the clean start, and he's bothering Williams pretty badly at the moment. Williams definitely knows he's there.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Douglas is an AM, but so far he's not driving like an AM. He's fighting the pros for that last podium spot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Long way to go in this, and the weather's not going to make it any easier on anybody, but Dave Douglas certainly putting in a great start to this one. But now he's actually got some of the guys right up on his rear bumper. The rest of the fields actually seem to be catching up with him there. We've got Bradbury, Fitt, Edward Foster, Martin, Bottrell, and M. Foster all piling up behind Dave Douglas there, and there's a big gap has actually opened up between between Douglas and Williams now, whereas Dave Douglas was all over the back of Fitt earlier on. Williams.
Yeah, looks like the 22 is starting to reel in the top 2 ever so slightly.
Yeah, everybody's obviously been cautious and careful to get a clean start to this one, and now they're starting to sort of stretch out a little bit. They're putting the foot down a bit, and so the majority of the field, although they're starting to spread out a little bit again now. So on the front half of the field, they seem to bunch up. The back half, they seem to spread out a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes in the wet conditions. Ryan Jones still maintaining that lead over Josh Pringle. Williams in 3rd, Dave Douglas 4th, Bradbury 5th, Fitt 6th, Bottrell, then Martin, M. Foster, and Steve Lefebvre. Now we've lost Edward Foster. He's dropped right down out of that. And I cannot actually see him in the standings anywhere. He's sitting 11th. It's showing me 10th and 12th. It's not showing me 11th. There he is. Yeah, we're following Edward now in that green BMW, the Natari car, sitting 11th, sitting in front of Steve Lefebvre. And as you can see, yeah, the cars are starting to spread out a bit. There's definitely more than a few car lengths in between some of these guys, and a lot of that's probably going to be due to visibility. When you're right up behind the guys, you can see that overspray. It's just murder to drive through that.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of factoring into why we're not seeing a whole lot of progression. You know, it's just so hard to see where your competitors are. You just got to be really careful about that. You don't want to try to follow a little too closely, misjudge, completely yeet your competitor to oblivion.
Well, there's also brake markers, stuff like that. It doesn't matter how well you know a track, but we've got a replay here of something that's just happened. And we're going to take a look at that at the moment. Yeah, there was a car off on the grass there on the right-hand side, so take a look at what actually took place here.
Yep, that's what
Greg Spencer and...
That's what I brought up earlier. If you turn in just a little too soon, you will clobber that tire barrier, and that will
Greg Spencer's gone for the sharp turn in, and he's actually paid the price by hitting that tyre barrier against the right rear quarter of the car, and that's he needs to get out of the way. This other guy needs to get past him because we've got other cars maybe coming. Nope, that's at the back of the field. So yeah, he's just a little bit too sharp there on his entry into that chicane, and he's paid the price for it. But depending on how bad the damage is, Greg can just pull himself together and just get it pointed in the right direction. And that's exactly what he'll do. Taking a look up through the field, Mark Foster sitting in 8th at the moment in that pale green Porsche. And Edward Foster in the bright green BMW in 31st, coming out of the pits. So that's an early stop for Edward.
Yeah,
he had an off track apparently.
I see.
And we're going to go to a replay. Something's occurred with Luke Georgeson out there, and we're going to take a look at what that may have been. And here we go in the Quantum Motorsport car.
Oh.
And there he is. He's loose. The rear's come out. And he's...
Oh, no. Oh.
He's off to do some irrigation work, but Kenny... and nosed it into the wall, into the tyre barrier there. So that won't be doing Luke any favours, and he won't be too happy with himself about that. But he won't be the only one, and it won't be the last time we see that tonight, James.
Nope. And that might be the kindest wall hit we'll see race long, because you just know someone's going to end up buried in these tires at some point. Man, we have more stuff.
Yeah, and we've got something happened with Gary Wellman here, and we've got a replay to go to of that as well, James. So we'll take a look at that.
Oh, no.
And, oh, yes. He's succumbed to the slippery conditions.
Hey, but he kept it off the wall.
Yeah, kept it off the wall, across the kitty litter.
I can definitely say that he's probably not doing well, man.
Yeah.
I make no apologies.
Yeah. Gary will probably even smile at that one. As we're with Ryan Jones again now, but still holding down the lead of this over Pringle. And Williams back in 3rd. Then Douglas back to 5th. Bradbury, Martin.
Oh, there's the send! Ooh. Pringle kind of, I don't know if he lulled him into a false sense of security, but that move even caught me off guard.
Yeah, it almost looked like Pringle was going to make the move up the inside there and changed his mind.
I think he was trying to see if he could sell him just a little bit of a dummy. Try to get him a little unsettled, look in that mirror, and give him the apex.
Yeah, you can see why some of these guys are actually coming off the track and having these things happen. I mean, look at that visibility out of Josh Pringle's windscreen. Absolutely terrible.
I tell you though, if Jones can see anything out of his rear view mirror, I think he's looking in it. I think he knows that 246 is looking to make that move.
A good day to
clear.
Good day to Sarah Kay Jesberg in the live chat at the moment. Yes, very slippery out there tonight, Sarah. But so far, I think we've avoided any major damage. There's been a few bumps and scrapes, but a couple of noses into the tyre barrier, and Greg Spencer doing a sharp entry to the to the chicane and collecting the tyre barrier on the rear quarter. But otherwise, we haven't seen anything too dramatic at the moment.
You
the
say
guys-
that now, but yet.
Yeah, well, I haven't
don't
said that. We'll probably see a
oh,
massive
there goes
pile-up.
someone. I called it.
Oh, Ryan Jones, I jinxed him.
I don't think that's Jones. I think it's the 23 of Chris Ireland. Yeah,
It's the 23, sorry, not the 11.
it looks so similar.
It's the team car, yeah.
Think of the
23,
broadcaster.
Christopher
Oh
Ireland.
no. Oh,
and
Lord.
he's 2 wheels off on the grass.
A gaggle of cars in the rain is called a nope.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys, this little battle pack of 4 or 5 cars is really pushing it a little bit here. In these
Yeah,
conditions, they're really tempting fate.
This is a heck of a scrap, though. Just 5 guys just absolutely laying haymakers on each other.
I think that's Christopher Ireland taking the offline there so that he had visibility. But they're all about 3-4 car lengths apart again now. But they'll close up as we come into this new section of the track. And that's Andrew Dyson sitting in 11th. In behind one of the PER cars. Yeah, wonderful visibility. I'm glad I'm not out there.
Yeah, right. Oh boy. The 41's gonna make a move. There it goes. Oh, they're gonna be side by side.
Yeah, I knew Dyso wouldn't stay there for very long.
Oh boy. And backs out of it. Oh no, but he wasn't expecting. Oh, he wasn't expecting Ireland to follow through. Oh, I wonder if that's serious. I wonder if that's serious damage for Fitz there.
Ireland's gone to follow Dyson and lost it. Yeah, he's probably just braked a little bit late, trying to get the advantage going in there.
Yeah, that's all.
Blake Fitz has paid the price for that. Looks like he might have a fair bit of damage there. Actually, it might have broken his steering or something.
Yeah,
he's dropped back to the pits. So we'll wait and see how the damage bill comes up for Fitz. Through no fault of his own on that one.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to. He knew that the 41 was going to take it, so he just tried to back out, but he was not expecting the team car of Ireland to follow through, and it just completely messed up his entry. I don't know if he made contact with Ireland and damaged the left front, or if he just made contact with the tire barrier and killed the right front. But yeah, that steering component, no steer no more.
And the VB car would have to be Brad Fenley. Yep, number 34, sitting in 21st position at the moment. Brad runs that livery on his NASCARs as well, so thank you, Brad, because I knew who that was. I didn't have to actually look at anything else to see who was driving the car.
Is it me, or is the 555 missing something?
Yes.
Mate.
Yeah.
Mate, I think it dropped something.
I think Damien's had some contact somewhere around the track. He's no front end on that vehicle. Whether he's aware of it or not, I don't know.
But think of the cooling. No overheating on that radiator. Nope, no siree. But the only thing I can figure is that he might have overcooked it just a little bit, just rear-ended someone, and bye-bye from bumper. Oh no!
Here we go. What have we got? And we got Scott Lefevre, who's...
Oh, I'll tell you what we have. We got a sick drift. That's what that was.
That's very sick, actually. That's a great save from Scott Lefevre. 27th position, but he's just absolutely nailed the recovery on that.
Yeah, I get the Tokyo Drift theme going. Oh, oh. Yeah, I can't drift your way out of that one.
But didn't manage to save it there.
Yeah. I don't want to know how bad that slowdown is that he just got.
We've got no information on what actually occurred earlier, but that AMG was looking fairly second-hand, so we'll have to wait and see how he actually continues on.
That Mercedes is now certified pre-owned.
And we got Dave Douglas in 4th place as we follow him. Doing a hell of a job, Dave Douglas. He's in the AM or Pro-Am class, not the Pro class, and doing a hell of a job. Absolutely getting this done.
And look at the 59 up in 3rd. That's 2 AMs in 3rd and 4th. That's a heck of a drive.
Yep. Fit in 3rd, Douglas in 4th. And then you got Martin, M. Foster, sitting 7th and 8th. So there's still 4 AMs in the top 10. So great stuff. That this rain, these guys are really suited to the conditions at the moment, James.
Yeah, they're showing that the amateur moniker is just that, a name. Because it takes some pretty pro skills to be able to wheel a car in the rain like what they're doing.
So we've got Ryan Jones is still sitting about 2 seconds ahead of Josh Pringle at the front of the field. And then we've got the 2 AM class cars of Fit and Douglas a bit further back than that. But
hey,
still sitting. Oh, okay.
It's a really interesting line by June. I thought when we were watching in like the initial few laps, I thought that was a defensive line, but I don't think it's a defensive line. I think what he's doing is he's entering lower to stay away from the rubbered in and just have it not be as slick.
Yeah, you could
Oh,
be. Yep. It's a line that he's chosen, I'd say, but he's gone off there. Oh, no, it's Josh Fitt.
yeah.
Third place, Josh Fitt. The team car for Ryan Jones is actually...
He did lose a whole lot. Like he lost time, but he's still P3.
Hasn't lost a position, but yeah, he managed to catch that, and
he did it again.
Fairly,
I thought we were watching the replay again. That was the replay. Never mind. I was right. That was the replay. I'm like, wow.
But yeah, he lost a bit of time over the cars in front of him of Jones and Pringle, but he certainly didn't lose a position. Although that would have done Dave Douglas a favour because Dave's now got a lot closer to him.
Yeah, and he still got the 22 car right there behind him as well.
Yep. Yeah, Williams in the 22 car is definitely doing everything he can to stay with Douglas, even through that overspray, because that visibility must be absolute rubbish.
Yeah.
But he's driving it pretty well there at the moment, keeping in there. Dave's managed to pull out away from him there as we go on board with Tom Williams in the 22 car, sitting 5th at the moment. And you can see what he can see, and you can't even see Dave Douglas's vehicle. It's just spray.
Well, I don't know. I saw Dave Douglas get pretty sideways there.
Yeah, he did get a bit sideways coming into that chicane, yeah.
Now, is it... It's probably just me, but is there some sun starting to peek out? Because it's starting to get a little lighter.
It is getting lighter. I don't think the rain's letting up. The wipers are still on.
Oh, no. Is that... Oh, that is big gunk.
Who we got there? That's that's a real mess, the front of that. That's the 07 car.
Yeah, the OnlyFans needs only repairs. Oh no, he caught the grass.
Yeah, he got a couple of wheels out, and that was
it.
it.
And that's right where Martin was.
I think it's the same spot that Luke Georgeson actually did that as well.
It is, but he wasn't as lucky to just give the wall a little kiss.
Yeah, he just gave it a
full on
little kiss,
wrenched it.
and the 07 car's absolutely ploughed into the tyre barrier there, though. And Dave
Oh.
Douglas, he's getting very loose, and oh my goodness.
Oh no! Oh,
Yeah,
Dave, no!
Tom Williams has taken advantage of that now, and he's moved up a spot.
A
Dave
lot
has
of people took
lost
advantage of
a
that.
heap of spots.
And
And now we're going to go. There's been an issue with Brad Fenley as well. As we see the VB car, number 34.
big overcorrect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he felt he was too far to the right-hand side. He's overcorrected that and then just gotten the wobbles up. So, but at the same time, he's not made contact with anything, James, so he's going to be fairly safe once he gets back on track.
Yeah, but he nearly completed the entire Foster's course right there. A little shortcut. He's going to do what's called a pro gamer move.
And
Oh
we've
man, we got more.
a replay. We've got Matt Raymond actually has had an
Oh,
incident.
oh no! Oh dear.
Sitting in
Record.
20th position, and he's gotten loose. He just aquaplaned straight off onto the grass.
And oh,
In these,
how?
in these conditions, once you've actually got two wheels on the grass, you're a passenger.
Okay, but how did he not wad it up in the tire barrier? Like,
Well, yeah, he's
like-
very lucky, but he's struggling to get the thing back on track there at the moment. That's it.
like that thing was earmarked for the tires, and he lives. That might be the most impressive save of the night right there. Because that car was wrecked. It just didn't actually wreck.
And with the leader, Ryan Jones, who at the moment's about 1.8 seconds up track from second place, Josh Pringle. It certainly does, yes. Sorry, people. I'm getting instruction from the Peanut Gallery. And yes, it does say fart on the side of that car.
The fairly
average racing team.
What legends.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant.
You want to be careful of the plume of smoke that comes out of that car, though.
I believe he's up in behind Dave Douglas at the moment, actually, is he?
No, I think
it's actually Mark Foster in the 50s. I'm looking at the wrong people on the list, unfortunately. He's in behind Bradbury, sorry.
Yeah, he's battling for a top 5.
Yep. So, the fart team battling for a top 5 position.
He's hoping to breeze by to take 5th.
I don't know whether I can say that too many times. That's a brilliant race team name, I've got to say.
We're proof, folks at home watching that. Just because you grow old doesn't mean you grow up.
Exactly, yeah. And when it comes to sim racing, anything's possible.
Even being fairly average.
And it's gotten a bit of a laugh in our live chat as well on the stream. So, fantastic stuff. He'll be absolutely chuffed when he watches this back.
Giving the people what they want.
And finds that he got a good mention out of that. So yeah. So Matt Raymond, we're back on, and he's sitting 20th position. So that big spin before didn't hurt him too badly, to be honest.
Yeah, the moment he finds whoever crapped his pants, though, they're gonna be sorry. Oh no! Speaking of crapping your pants, oh man,
No.
that
Peter Pavlovic, yeah, I'm guessing that on his next pit stop he might be wanting to change his race suit.
yeah, changing more than the tires on that.
And there's the problem there. A little bit wide on the entry. missed the apex completely and paid the price for it in the wet conditions.
Yep. Just tried to overcompensate a little too much, got on it a little too hard, and
In dry
yeah.
conditions, he would have gotten away with that because he would have just pulled it far enough to get it back. But in the wet, that was never going to work, unfortunately.
Nope.
Taking a look at another instant replay from
Oh,
Oulton
Dave,
Park.
no.
It looks like Dave's got 2 wheels on the grass, and it's a carbon copy of what he did earlier. And we've got Brad Fenley again, who's had another lose, but Dave managed to save his. And Brad Fenley's gone off across the grass. Doesn't look like he's contacted with anyone.
At least he didn't do what he did the last time.
And
That's the
Nick
important
Bottrell, also, we've got a montage of losers here at the moment. But they're keeping it off the wall, and that's got to be applauded. They've got the sense to actually get out of it and bring it back under control again.
Yeah, that's the important thing is, you know, not panicking when you make a mistake. Like, I like to bring this up a lot in some of my other broadcasts. You know, when you look at the pro guys, the real life drivers, it's not that they don't make mistakes, it's how they make those mistakes. You know, you're never going to be perfect out on the racetrack. You're going to screw up at some point. The key is, what do you do in that moment? The key is to not panic and go, okay, I've screwed this up. Let me not make this worse. Let me try to bring the car back as best as I can and not build on it. You know, not trying to...
It's all got to happen in a split second.
Yeah.
That thought process and the instinct to actually do the right thing, not the wrong thing. Plenty of guys would actually get it across the grass and keep the foot into it to try and get it back on track as quickly as possible and panic. Whereas these guys have got the sense to actually lift out of it a bit, get the car back under control. Off that wall is the important bit, off that wall. It doesn't matter how you actually recover. If you keep it off the wall, you can get back on track and continue. And that's what we're seeing. Yeah,
and to not let it compound either. Like, another thing you tend to see a lot is you see someone make a mistake in one corner, and then they carry that mistake and mess up the next corner. You know, trying to center yourself to where you're not all panicked and going, oh God, I'm messing up, I can't do this again, and making another mistake. You know, being able to go, all right, that corner sucked, the next corner is going to be way better. We're going to get through this, and we're going to get back on that rhythm.
Well, that's it. So we're going to pay some more bills at the moment, run some ads, stick around. Great racing, and lots of excitement out there on track. Stick around.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
I used to have to go in to the auto parts store. Pay too much, never find quite what I'm looking for. Now I just go online to Rock Auto and see all the parts my car will ever need. Lower prices, more parts, more brands. It's so easy to find the right parts fast. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
You went, you served, and forged the relationships that only being baptized in the fire of combat can develop. At FallInVeteran.com, we understand the unique bond that veterans share. That's why we've created a platform where you can connect, share experiences, and build lifelong friendships with fellow veterans. Signing up is easy. Simply visit www.fall-in-veteran.com and create your profile. Customize it to reflect your military service interests and hobbies. FallInVeteran.com is more than just an online community. It's a support network where you can find resources, advice, and encouragement from those who understand what you've been through. Whether you're looking for camaraderie, mentorship, or simply a place to share your stories, FallInVeteran.com has it all. Join thousands of veterans who have already found their tribe and start connecting today. FallInVeteran.com. Come join us and experience the power of community. Sign up now at www.fall-in-veteran.com.
And welcome back. And we are still looking at Ryan Jones leading this from Josh Pringle. We've got some replays from something that happened during the ad break. We'll take a look at this one here.
Whoa.
And oh yes, the number 98. And he's just suffered the fate, but kept it off the tyre barrier, so he could just rejoin. That's fine. Gets a sort of a decent rejoin happening. Now,
Ireland clipped the grass.
And his teammate is following suit. Must have been an organised move. And Tom Foster also had an incident, and we're going to take a look at that right now.
It's a big brain team strat there for them. That's not big brain.
And
that's big bad.
That's not looking good. Is he going to keep that off the wall? Yep.
I don't think so. Nope.
No, he's given that a bit of a nudge. Yeah, not too bad though. He should be able to continue on. He hasn't lost anything. Matthew Raymond's in the wars tonight. We're going to take a look at something that happened to him during that ad break. The number 83 and gets it loose. The rear's come around on him. He's on the grass. And poor old Matty Raymond's a bit of a passenger there at the moment.
Been an eventful evening for him so far.
It certainly has. In the what's that? The Moondog car. So it's all happening here at Oulton Park in the Aussie Outlaws GT3 series. As we look at Peter Pavlovic, who again has come unstuck, and he's given that a real nice bang into the wall at both ends of the car.
Yeah, and Pavlovic, that car is toast.
Yeah,
I think he's lost. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, without a wing on it, he's going to be struggling, and that's exactly what happens. That's the outcome. Well, let's hope none of these guys are doing what Sarah Kay in the live chat said. When she spins, she closes her eyes. So, let's hope that that's not what these guys are doing. Scott Lefebvre sitting back in 23rd position, and it's the same old story. The rears have come out. He's gotten loose. Onto the grass, onto the kitty litter. Well, yeah, it's not kitty litter, but I'm an old timer, so. And Tristo in the 550. That AMG is not looking stable as he's come around. Across the grass. Kept it off the fence. And he gets that back on track very gingerly. He only lost 1 or 2 spots there, so he's right to continue. James Lawrence sitting 7th when this happened to the 12th car, and the rear comes out again. And bang. Okay, so he's got a little bit of help to get going. Yep, Stephen Williams in the 98 car.
And the hits keep coming, and the hits keep coming, and that's all I can say without us getting us sued.
And after that, yep, that's the incident again there. Just Stephen Williams saying, "Oh, you've stalled. Let me push you." And Steve Williams again going for the back-to-back incidents of the night award.
Oh, someone else.
Oh, Ryan Jones. He's off to the side there as well. Lap 21 of 33, and these guys are literally sliding everywhere. And we're into one of those montages, people. We've got cars off all over the track. Dave Douglas is again having another problem. Oh, and I think he might have even tagged the back of that car in front, and that's partly what's caused that. But the rears have gotten out on him. He's kept it off the Armco by the looks of it. So we're going to go for another one.
Oh, no.
Matty Raymond. Oh, and I think he's...
Yeah, he will survive again.
He survives again. More lives than a cat, Matt Raymond, honestly.
That tire barrier is shaking its fist saying, "I'll get you someday."
Yeah, eventually, sooner or later. So here we go. And Phil Otto has overrun the entry into the chicane in the 13 car, the Kingsman Racing. So he's decided to take the scenic route. Heavens above. Okay, back onto Jackson Pringle now leading this after Ryan Jones had his couple of mishaps there. It was 2 or 3 in a short space of time. Whether that comes down to tyres or not, I couldn't tell you, but Ryan, who's basically owned the front spot in this race up until this point, has really just let this slip out of his hands. Jackson Pringle now in first position. We've got another replay here. It's all happening, folks.
Oh, him in that corner, man. Oh, and he won't survive.
Forgets that the track turns left there. Just a light, gentle touch on the tyre barrier. Nothing that's going to upset his race too badly, although he's decided that's the way to go.
Squarely, though, too. That also helped.
Yeah, that'll help. Yeah, not too bad. It was a gentle touch. As we go back to Jackson Pringle leading this race, back live.
Yeah, that's so disappointing for Jones, though. He had it pretty well on, I wouldn't say on lock since it was only 2 seconds, but he was able to cruise for the most part. He was doing good running the karting lines. You know, in karting, in the rain, they teach us to stay away from all the really rubbered in bits because it's just like ice in these conditions. You don't tend to see it a whole lot in, you know, actual cars in the rain. Like they used to. Oh, that's not what you want to see as a race leader. Quattro bottled it. Oh, and someone else went off in the back.
Yeah, so going by the look of the front of that car, I'd say he's collected the tyre barriers a couple of times.
I would agree with you on that.
And the replay shows how he actually lost it.
Just clipped the grass.
Yep, just clipped it. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's a death sentence even when the grass isn't wet.
Here we go with Tristan Koch taking the shortcut.
And now taking the long cut.
And there's a tyre barrier there.
And taking the meatball.
But it's not that big a hit. He's hit that square on, so that's not too bad. Brad Fenley.
Again. Oh no, is it the same corner?
sitting 19th,
It's the same corner.
and decided to take the exit down the runoff there.
That's
on
like
the other layout.
a carbon copy of the first time he spun there.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it looks very, very similar, doesn't it? Josh Mickelmore, who we haven't talked about much tonight, the number 31 car. He's basically been the quiet achiever as we go back live. And he's sitting in 15th at the moment, so it's not a prime position. But the fact that we haven't had to mention Josh tonight means that he probably hasn't had too many issues, and he's just making his way through the field as the opportunities arise. And yeah, you're watching the Aussie Outlaws GT3 series on Checkered Flag Esports. We're on lap 24 of 32, so we've got around about 8 laps to go. Our top 10 at the moment: Josh Pringle, Ryan Jones still in second after those little mishaps that he had. Fitt, Bradbury, Dyson, Banks, Williams, M. Foster, B. Cooper, and Jason Martin rounding out the top 10. So we've still got 4 AM cars in the top 10.
Yeah, still an incredible showing from our AMs here. Yeah, we still have Fit on the podium. We might get an AM podium if I'm not responsible for a commentator
again. And very well done by Tristo to stay on to that edge of the track on the shoulder there. And we'll see how he actually managed that. Yeah, the rears will come around on him. Yeah, common problem tonight, unfortunately.
Yep.
I am surprised, James. I thought the AMG would have been a bit more stable in these weather conditions. I know it's rear-wheel drive, but we've seen a lot of the front-wheel, rear-wheel drive rear-engine cars come off. I thought the AMG would have done a little better in these conditions, but that's not the case. And we move across to Josh Mickelmore, and there's the replay. Now
we cursed him. Commentators cursed him. Oh no!
Commentators curse. Here we go. That was very lucky. Josh must have seen those 2 cars coming, but good work for them. Managed to avoid him.
I couldn't quite make it out who almost killed him. I
think it was one of the Quantum cars. I'm not sure.
Yeah, whoever. It might have been.
And Phil Otto goes around as well. You think these guys have actually realised yet? If you go a bit slower and just let everybody crash around you, you can win.
Right?
Well, we got Brad Cooper coming up here in a replay. He's obviously had some sort of an incident here in the 093 car, sitting in 10th spot when he suddenly loses the rear.
Also, I'm keeping an eye on the interview. Are we having a battle for the lead again? I think we are. I think Pringle had enough. Yeah,
Jones
he's down to P2 again.
Yep, you're right. Jones has actually taken the lead again. Pringle must have had some sort of an off, and Jones has managed to get through on him as we go back live.
He's now down to P3.
And we're
P6.
back to
what in the world?
Jackson Pringle must have had some sort of a real problem there because he's dropped from 1st to 6th.
That was a 9-second lead he had, and now he's down to 6.
Well, there's no damage on the car, James. I can't see that he would have had anything major happen. But we've got to take a look at the replay now and see if we can figure out what happened to him. So far, so good there. Yeah, it looks like he's just out of it because he had such a good lead. I think he might have lifted his foot a bit. Maybe he's saving fuel. Or he's feeling that his tyres are just not up to the task.
We are unable to.
Nick Bottrell in 18th, and he's gone around. And he'll lose at least 1 or 2 spots there. Yep. Now I guess Dave Douglas sneaking through, so that probably puts Dave back into the top 10. Yep, up into 9th. So Dave Douglas, with his issues in the second half of his race, is still sitting inside the top 10. And he's got Andrew Dyson sitting 4th behind him. So I'm guessing Dave's going to be seeing a blue flag there at the moment. Damien Cross in 14th in the pits in the 555 car. And this was probably the reason why. Yep, there we go. And he's just run wide there. Run wide in the right-hander onto the grass. But he's kept it off there, so that missing that front apron must be from an earlier incident. And he's managed to keep it off the track, get out of the way. Back live again as we look at Andrew Dyson, sitting 4th position on lap 27 of 33. And just giving a shout out to our sponsors again. Everything's Simulated, the naming sponsor for the race. And thanks very much to the sponsors who participate and make this possible. As we take a look at Nick Bottrell in the 225. He's sitting 18th at the moment. He had a much better race early on, but he's back in the field at the moment. And
whoa!
Oh, yes, he's very close to him. Aerial Auto Art, another sponsor of the race. So we go on board with Nick Bottrell.
Oh, no!
And he takes that spot. But can he hold it through there? Yes, he does. And I think that's Dave Douglas coming up on the inside. He's going to try for the spot off Nick Bottrell. Nice passing move by Dave Douglas. That was very well driven in this wet conditions. Outlaws slot cars. Check them out. Slot cars making a big comeback. They were huge in the 70s. Making a big comeback these days with several outlets around the country and places that feature that kind of racing. A little bit loose there from Dave in the rear end, but he's putting a bit of a gap on Nick Bottrell, so great driving from Dave. Andrew Dyson back a couple of spots as he pits, and he's 6th at the moment, back from 4th.
Yeah, I think some of our leaders might have pit too. Yeah, mandatory pit stop. I thought I saw that. I was wondering what was happening with that.
Yeah, because we haven't seen so many of them pit because we've had so much action on track or off track, depending on your point of view. We haven't really seen who's pitted and when. But Ryan Jones leading in this one. Brad Fenley's had another incident. We'll just see how that took place. Same spot. He doesn't like that corner. He just has not managed to get the line right through that corner at all tonight.
And this might be the last one.
He's nosed it in, but I don't know whether he's hit it particularly hard. 22nd at the moment. It's a fairly decent lose. So poor old Brad in the wars tonight. But that corner really has been his bogey spot on this track. And we go to another replay. And it's Brad Fenley again. And we're going to Carl Withy this time, who we also haven't spoken about much tonight. And that's the same corner. That corner's really taken a few drivers by surprise tonight.
Yeah, it's not that surprising. It's such a difficult corner. It's one of the highest speed corners on the track and kind of going downhill a little bit.
And away we go across the grass. So the number 8 car tearing up some turf. Phil Otto takes advantage and moves through on him on his inside.
So then, I wonder, could the reason why Pringle lost lead is because he pit and we just didn't realize it?
So Robbie Bradbury is currently sitting in first place. Pringle back in third, Banks in second. In the closing stages, we've got 4 laps to go. These guys are right at the pointy end where they need to be. Pringle back in third, Jones in fourth after the pit stops. Pitt in fifth, Dyson sixth, Williams seventh, Foster eighth, Martin ninth, Lawrence in 10th, which brings us down to still 4 AMs in the top 10, James.
Yeah, they're still doing good. And you know, I think there still might have been some sort of mistake at some point because pre-pit stops, Pringle had a 9-second lead over Jones. And if they both pitted like I think they might have, that's only like a second. Yeah, look at that. That's the race for the effective lead right there. Jones was able to make up 9 seconds on Pringle if they both taken care of their pit stops.
Well, Pringle's up to second and Jones up to third now. So Robbie Bradbury sixth. He's actually gone into the pits. So he's relinquished the lead, which puts Pringle and Jones back in 1-2, respectively. So that's obviously the mandatory stop for Bradbury. Very late in the race for that mandatory stop.
Yeah, that's what threw me off. Was I just wasn't caught off guard by them pitting so late.
So late, yeah. I'm very surprised at that. But with about 2.5 to 3 laps left to run, Pringle's reporting low tyre wear, I believe. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, you're not. You've got all that water kind of help. You're not really going to see wear on wet tires till the track really starts to dry up for the most part. Well, look at this. This scrap for the lead is getting heavy.
Oh yeah. Pringle ahead of Jones, but not by a lot, and Jones won't be too happy about being back there. Not after leading such a long stint in this race.
And are we going to be coming to the white flag here?
And I'm so impressed to see the amateur pit sitting in third place at the moment, surrounded by guys in the pro class, as we go on board with Ryan Jones sitting in behind Pringle.
Oh, we might get the move. There's a lot of lap traffic in front of them too.
Yeah, a little bit messy there. That lap vehicle getting out of the way.
Good on them to get out of the way.
Pringle's trying to keep it ahead of Jones, but Jones is throwing absolutely everything at Pringle. And I think we're about to take the white flag, which means we'll have 1 lap to go. So Ryan Jones running out of time. Oh, he's done a big dive into the corner there with a late break and almost paid the price for it. Certainly didn't do him any good. Pringle never in danger.
Oh, I think he's in danger now.
But Ryan Jones all over the back of him. As we take a look at Josh Fitt and then back to Ryan Jones. Jones all over the back of Pringle. I think they're coming up for the white flag now, so it's going to be very interesting to see what Jones can do on this last lap. Sitting second, and it's been these two pretty much all race. 1-2. Pringle started from pole. Jones alongside him on the front row. And that's how we're going to finish with
Pringle's
these guys taking
line.
1-2.
Oh. Jones wanted to do the crossover, but just couldn't quite make it work.
Now, these lap cars are going to cause a problem for Jones because he's not going to be able to put himself in a position where he can try and make a move. And Pringle's going to suffer from it because he can't really push as hard to keep in front of Jones. So it's going to be interesting to see what these two do. But they are on the last lap. It's white flag, and they are battling for the win. We've got damaged cars. We've got lap cars.
Oh, side by side.
Side by side. Oh, couldn't quite pull it off.
Oh.
That was Josh Micklemore there, I think was in the way of Josh Pringle.
Oh, great exit off by Jones. They're side by side. He's got the preferred line.
Jones got an excellent run out of that turn.
Oh,
Pringle's
this
got
is
the
a
goods
big
on him,
old
though.
game of chicken. Pringle edges ahead. They're still side by
Oh,
side.
Jones get him in the...
Oh, my.
Yes, and Jones gets him going through.
What a move. Oh,
the
my
chicane.
goodness.
Can you believe that? Great
The
driving
stone.
from both of those guys not to come together and cause an incident.
That was incredible.
That is not the spot you would expect to see that, and great driving from both of these guys.
I don't think this is over. Pringle's still close. He might make a counter move.
Wow, what a race. Yeah, we've got the checkered flag out, but they're not at the finish line yet. Pringle's still
What a
in behind
battle.
Jones. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got Ryan Jones first and Pringle second. Josh Fitt, the amateur, comes in third place on the podium. He'll be real pleased with that. Andrew Dyson fourth, Tom Williams fifth, Robbie Bradbury sixth, Stephen Banks seventh, Mark Foster eighth, Jason Martin ninth, and James Lawrence rounds out your top 10. So we'll take an ad and then we'll come back and we'll speak with our podium getters. Stick around.
I used to have to go in to the auto parts store. Pay too much, never find quite what I'm looking for. Now I just go online to Rock Auto and see all the parts my car will ever need. Lower prices, more parts, more brands. It's so easy to find the right parts fast. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Yeah, welcome back to the Aussie Outlaws GT3 race, sponsored by Everything Simulated. And we've got our second place AM class driver in second place on the podium. Excellent stuff. Mark Foster, how you doing out there?
Yeah. G'day, Steve. Yeah, very well, thank you, mate. Pretty happy with that result.
Yeah, well, you should be, mate. You've driven well all race. It wasn't one of those... we looked at you quite a bit during the race, but it certainly wasn't one of those ones where we were like really noticing what you did. You just got on with it and just quietly did what you had to do. You featured more than a few times, but not for the wrong reasons, mostly. How did you see it? The weather out there was obviously atrocious.
It was. He must have missed my two offs then that I had. So I had two near spins.
I wasn't going to go there, but yeah.
Which was disappointing because I was just saying to Jackson Pringle, I thought they might have made the cars a little bit easier because it's only my second race in the wet, so I'm wrapped with how it went. It felt good. Like obviously when you put the power down, the rear wanted to slide out a bit, and I had a good battle with Bradbury pretty much for the first half of the race. And it's difficult to pass, so I'm just happy to stay out of trouble and end up with a good result.
Well, the Porsches weren't the only ones having that problem either. It was certainly just about right across the field. The Audis, the AMGs even, all had the same problem. Quite often on the same couple of corners. So was there anywhere on the track that you found was a bit of a bogey for you tonight, or?
I don't know the name of the corner, but probably going the last third of the track going up the hill, the two double right-handers there was a wet like a bit of water that was going across the second part of the right-handers that used to get a lot of understeer and could easily push you off into the grass. So that probably was the worst corner for me. The rest of them were just as slippery, but not so bad.
And you found the car was drivable. It was like all right to drive, but you weren't really struggling against it at any point, or?
No, I don't think so. I think once you get the tyres up to temperature, it's just those first, say, 3 laps that everyone was taking it very easy. That when the tyres are cold, it's difficult. But once they heat up, it's actually not too bad. As long as you kind of do the same thing every lap and you don't try and really push too hard, it's manageable.
So early on, it seemed everybody was doing the sensible thing. There was a very clean start to the race. Were you pretty impressed with the way everybody handled it?
Yeah, I don't actually know where I qualified. I think it was about 11th or 12th, but it was great. Like everyone really waited for the tyres to no one heat up. No one made any crazy dive bombs or anything like that. So I was really impressed with that, and it made, I think, for a better race overall.
You started 10th, mate, by the way.
Hey, thanks. Cheers.
So started top 10. You finished 8th overall, I think, but second in your division in the Pro-Am class. So there was actually all night, it was very impressive to see. There were usually pretty much all the way through the race, there were at least 4 AM class cars in the top 10. And of course you were one of them. You featured, as far as that's concerned, fairly heavily. So you've driven a great race, fantastic stuff. We've got quite a few interviews to get through. So what I'll do is I'll throw it to you for any thank yous and shout outs that you've got.
Oh, just well, thanks to you guys for the stream. It's great, and to Aussie Outlaws. It's only my second race in this league, but it's great fun. So, and just my personal sponsors: Fred Peanut, Kids Boutique and Colourful Eating Toy Store, and just the boys in Fart Racing.
Yeah, and that was something that was actually a bit of a highlight, so you'll want to watch it back because we did actually cover that for a minute or two.
I'm sure you did.
Yes, our guy on the buttons tonight, Kobe Jordan, actually did say, does that say fart on the side of that car?
Oh,
so, yeah, so we had a good look at it. He gave us a close-up of the side of the car.
Excellent.
So we could see what it looked like, and there was some reactions in the live chat to it as well. So it was a nice light moment in what was a pretty stellar performance, mate. So congrats on second place in the AM class. And well done to you. Hopefully you have some good luck next round as well.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
No worries. Thanks, Mark. Mark Foster, second place in the Pro-Am category, as we get Jason Martin dragged up. And here he is. Jason Martin, welcome to the booth. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm stoked. I didn't expect that at all. I I didn't even think I was going to survive tonight.
Well, third place in the Pro-Am class is pretty good stuff. As I said to Mark Foster a moment ago, pretty much all night there were 4 AM class drivers in the top 10 for that whole race. The drivers changed here and there, but there was 4 in there, so that was fantastic to see that the guys in that class were really taking it up to the guys in the Pro class. That was great stuff. How'd you find the conditions? It wasn't particularly heavy rain, but it was enough to really sort of dictate how you drove the race, wasn't it?
Oh, sure was. Any bit of rain scares me. It feels way too heavy for me, and I'm scared on the brakes and scared of running wide. So, yeah, I'm on eggshells the whole time. So as soon as people got close to me, I didn't want to race too hard.
Well, around here, especially with the wet conditions, a lot of people found just a little bit too wide to the edge of the track. And as soon as the 2 tyres would make contact with the grass, that was an issue for them. And you refresh my memory, you didn't really have much of an off tonight, did you?
I didn't go off, but I had a couple of real close moments where I had to slam on brakes and lock it sideways and just managed to save it from going off completely. So it was a couple of big moments, but I just managed to hang on to it.
And the track itself, is this a track that you enjoy running, or is it one of the tracks you're glad to see behind you?
Definitely one I expected to struggle on. Not my type of track, this one. I liked Phillip Island because it's a lot like ovals, them turns, long, wide, bit like an oval.
Except for the 2 right hand.
Yep, just them.
Except for them. Okay. The car itself, the setup obviously did what you wanted it to do.
Yeah, except for the first couple of laps, it was real sketchy, but after that, yeah, it felt a lot better and I felt a bit more comfortable, but yeah, I never felt comfortable in those conditions all race.
The early couple of laps, while everybody got themselves sorted out, they pretty much behaved themselves, but I imagine it was a bit of a nervous time, was it?
Yeah, I think I got a little tap early, but I don't think it did any damage, so nothing major, no dramas.
Excellent stuff. All right, any shout-outs or thank yous that you want to give?
The boys at Mitch Motorsports, our sponsor, Leppy Motorsports Concepts, and of course you guys for doing the broadcast, and Mark for the league. Enjoying racing road for a fair bit.
Yep, excellent stuff. All right, congratulations again to Jason Martin, number 21 in the Audi, and he brought it home 3rd place in the AM class. And well done, mate. Great race in difficult conditions on a track that you really had to have your head together on. So good stuff, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Woohoo, thanks, mate.
No worries. Thanks, Jason. Okay, next up, we're going to have a word to Josh Fitt, who actually was 1st place in the Pro-Am class. And good day, Josh. Well done. Congratulations on winning the Pro-Am class. And in fact, I believe you brought it home 4th overall?
I'm not too sure where I finished, but it was a pretty bloody good race out there. Weather was always interesting in the rain. It's good to keep on the road. I managed to have a few excursions off into the wilderness, but it's always good to finish on the at the pointy end of the field.
And sorry, my apologies. 3rd place. You finished on the podium overall. So that's a pretty big ask and a great achievement here tonight in wet conditions. Did you like the wet conditions? You were happy about it and sort of didn't care one way or the other?
Oh, it didn't really bother me too much. I haven't done many races in the wet since the wet weather system's come out. It's probably my 2nd or 3rd race in the rain, so it was good to get out there and see what it's like. But no, thoroughly enjoyable, and any conditions and any chance to get on the sim rig's always a good time.
And the visibility out there obviously made it difficult getting in behind cars too closely.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. Once you had some clear air, you could see your braking points and your lines into the corners. But when you were following pretty closely, there's a fair amount of spray, which made it quite difficult. But the same conditions for everyone out there. But yeah, good fun.
And the setup that you guys were running, I imagine were you happy with it throughout the race? There anything you would probably change if you had it to do over again?
If we had some time, you'd probably look at putting a setup together, but we just ran the baseline off iRacing, not knowing too much about what to do in the wet weather conditions. It's a good starting point. But yeah, nothing too fancy in that regard.
Oh, okay. Well, look, congratulations, mate. Look, third place overall. That in amongst, you're completely surrounded by pro class drivers, and bringing it home, third place on the podium in the wet is a fair old achievement. So you started 8th, you finished 3rd, and won the pro-am class. So look, well done on that, and you're looking forward to the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys putting it on as my first race in this championship. So look forward to a few more over the coming weeks. So thank you all for putting it on.
Okay, any shout-outs or thank yous you want to give to anybody else?
Yeah, absolutely. Team sponsors, simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Ben Max Mechanical, NP Designs, and all the fellas that we race with on a weekly basis for the fun times we have during the week. So thanks to everyone.
All right, thanks very much. Congratulations to Joshua Fitt, the number 59 Porsche, and great to see the AM guy get up there on the podium overall, as well as winning his class. And we've got our third place pro driver, I believe, Andrew Dyson. How are you, Dyso?
Hey guys, how you going? I'm good, man. Thanks.
How was the race? The weather conditions, the setup, all that sort of stuff, sort of to your liking? We've just spoken to Josh Fitt, and he was just saying that you guys didn't have a particular setup for this race.
Not really, no. But those guys, that is Ryan and Josh, they ran the baseline setup in the practice, and they said it was pretty good. So the baseline wet setup specifically, which obviously is tailored to wet conditions, so it worked pretty good. I jumped on board with that, and obviously it was quite good, so can't go wrong.
That's great. So yeah, the wet conditions didn't bother you too much. You didn't sort of say, "Oh, God, we got rain" or anything like that.
No, I've always been pretty excited to do some wet races. I think that's probably the second or third wet race proper I've done, so it was good. It's always a little bit sketchy when you're cruising around, even if you're by yourself or there's cars around you. So that makes it interesting, but it was good.
Well, you started 30th. I was a bit surprised seeing you in the qualifying being so far down, but the dry wet in the qualifying probably would have made it fairly difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you went out and set a lap straight away, you'd be fine. I decided to wait until it started to rain and set a lap, and then try and sort of have a bit of fun with the race from there, and that's how it sort of played out.
All right. Well, started 30th. You finished 4th overall, 3rd in the pro class. It's been a pretty decent night for you all up. Any shout outs or thank yous you want to give?
Yep, of course, just you guys for putting us all together, as always, yelling at virtual race cars and all those things, and the whole league getting together, all the drivers who come out, tough conditions, and it was relatively pretty clean from what I could see, so that's well done to everybody.
Yeah, it was relatively clean as far as cars coming together was concerned. Obviously, the weather conditions made it slippery out there, and there was a lot of rear ends getting loose. More than a few guys managed to keep it off the Armco and the tyre barriers, but otherwise it was a fairly clean race. Not too many incidents with cars coming together though, so that was very good. And on a track that is not particularly difficult, but is a little bit technical. Do you find that with this track?
I find it to be very narrow, especially when it gets even narrower, because there's only certain places you can go on the road when it's wet. But technical, I don't really know about that. Maybe through a couple of those chicanes, but very narrow is probably the thing that stands out for me when it comes to this circuit.
All right, congrats again, Andrew Dyson, number 41 in the Porsche, and 4th place overall, 3rd place in the pro class. So there's a decent fistful of points for you. Thanks very much for jumping up the booth and having a word with us, and we'll catch up with you next round.
Cheers, boys. I actually thought I was 4th tonight because I expected Josh would be 3rd in class, but looks like he's in the other class, so we'll take it. Thanks, boys.
Yeah, you were 4th overall, but 3rd in the pro class, yeah.
Yep, cool. Thanks, mate.
Yep. No worries. Thanks, Andrew. Okay, so we're going to talk to Jackson Pringle now. And Mr. Pringle, 2nd place overall.
Hello.
Fantastic effort. How are you?
Yeah, not bad.
and your views on the race tonight, wet conditions, that battle at the end with Ryan Jones. Goodness me. I mean, you guys battled just about through the entire race.
It was just making sure the rear didn't step out, really. That's all I was worried about.
Yeah, it happened to a lot. Happened to a lot of guys. We were hitting montages of replays there for a while, and it really caught a lot of guys out, and some guys on the same piece of track. Is there any particular part of the track that you found particularly tricky that you had to really sort of get your head into the game?
That double right-hander towards the end. For whatever reason, I could not get on the power there without the rear just slipping around. Yeah,
we noticed at the end that you and Ryan really having a battle, and some lap cars sort of, unfortunately, the timing of you coming up on them was probably not beneficial. I mean, you would have been well aware that Ryan was trying to find his way past. He was side by side with you on that last lap or two. And the lap cars, unfortunately, just where they were, did you find that sort of seemed to stop any efforts you were making to get back in front of Ryan once he took the lead?
No. I was hoping that they'd block him off and he wouldn't be able to come around the outside. But just coming out of the corner, I couldn't get the power down and he could, so there was just nothing I could do, really.
And
once I was on the outside there was no hope.
And the wet conditions, they didn't bother you, or you were happy about it? Some guys enjoy the rain, some guys put up with it.
Yeah, no, I'm putting up with it.
Oh, okay. You'd rather have had a dry track.
Yeah, much quicker in the dry.
The qualifying session, I asked Andrew Dyson about it. It was a little bit dry and then wet early in qualifying, and then went dry again, then went very wet. Do you find that was sort of dulled down your efforts at all?
Well, I saw in the forecast that it was going to rain straight away, so I just came with the game plan as first lap has to be the quickest one because the track's not going to stay good.
Right, okay then. Any shout-outs or thank yous you want to give?
Yeah, just all the boys of Vermilion, Burling Motor Group, Race Lab, Moser, Hymo, all them boys.
No worries at all. Okay, Jackson Pringle, second place overall, and obviously second place in the pro category. Number 246. Fantastic stuff. Great racing, mate. Really enjoyable to watch. And that last couple of laps had everybody on the edge of their seat, including the commentary booth. So well done to you, and we'll look forward to seeing your efforts in the next round.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Cheers.
All right, thanks, Jackson. So we've got one person left to speak to, and that's Mr. Ryan Jones, our race winner, number 11 in the Porsche. Congratulations, Ryan.
Yeah, cheers. That was a bit of a crazy race, that one.
You holding your breath through that last two laps, were you?
I don't think I breathed ever since I came out of the pit stop. I came out much closer than I was expecting. I was like, okay, might be on here. And then for whatever reason, he didn't seem to have the pace the last three laps. So I reeling him in, and then just trying to figure out where I can pass him.
Well, that was something that actually we mentioned in the commentary. We were surprised at how late both yourself and Jackson, how late in the race you took your mandatory stop. Was there a reason for holding off until so late in the race? I mean, it was only a few laps to go.
And the wider the car, the quicker it goes. So the less fuel you've got in it for the longer period.
And the battle between you just went on from start to finish. I mean, you both started on the front row, and it just seemed to stay that way for nearly the entire race. You actually seemed to hold a lead there for a big chunk of the race. And that last two laps, take us through that last couple of laps, mate, because that side-by-side stuff was pretty exciting.
I was pretty comfortable out front until I speared it into the fence. So that didn't help my race. And then, yeah, obviously got behind him at the end again. And it's tricky because in the rain, all the fast places are offline. And so if you're trying to pass someone, 9 times out of 10, you're putting yourself on the racing line, which is really slick and slippery, and you can't get it done out there. You just understeer or, go straight ahead. So I knew I had to try to set him up for a crossover, get underneath him and onto the right line. And I did notice a couple of laps out how much I was gaining on him through the kink and the hairpin. So I sort of had that eyed up from the outset to see if I could get it done. And luckily, Josh let us go before the hairpin. Otherwise, if he was on the outside there, I'd have had nowhere to go.
Yeah, It must have been surprising there because at one point he had a fairly lengthy lead. It was like 8 or 9 seconds. And I'd neglected to actually ask him about this, but all of it, even with your little whoopsie there at one point, which I think was about 2 or 3 of them in a short span where you just seemed to get loose and have trouble recovering it. And all of a sudden you caught him, and the last part of the race there where it was really on for young and old, you surprised to catch him like that?
Yeah, I think I gained a second or so on him on his in lap to the pit stop. And then I was having a look at the times then, and Steve Williams was telling me that our pit lane time and stop time was identical pretty much. But it looks like his outlap was a couple seconds off. And he wasn't really able to recover the speed after his pit stop. Maybe just struggling on the cold tyres or something. Could just be the difference there. It was pretty sketchy on the cold tyres, but I didn't really have anything to lose, so I just broke it all the normal places and hoped it would stick.
Well, any shout-outs or thank yous you want to give?
Yeah, big shout-out to Aussie Outlaws putting on the show, putting on the league. It's good to have a big league of GT3 races, and the rain. It's always fun to go racing in the rain. For whatever reason, I seem to do a lot better in the rain than the dry. Obviously, simrex.com, Southall Listen Hoist, Ben Max Mechanical, MP Designs, all the boys at DPR for jumping in and having a go tonight as well. ISO from charging up from the back to P4 was pretty handy. Mum was watching on, as always, number one fan, only fan. And big up. That's my first league race win that isn't in a NASCAR over 5 years.
Oh, well, congratulations, mate. You've drove a great race. There was plenty of great racing in that, especially between you and Pringle, just battling from start to finish. And the late pit stops for those of you really sort of threw the cat amongst the pigeons. We weren't quite sure how that was going to turn out, but that side-by-side stuff on that last 2 laps, that really, you were determined to get past him, weren't you?
Yeah, well, I've always said if you're not first, you're last. So I wasn't going to be too keen on finishing behind him there, especially after I threw it away from myself earlier on.
Well, these things happen, mate. You weren't the only one tonight. There was plenty of slip and slide, lots of replays of cars getting loose in the rear and that sort of stuff. A few guys actually collected a tyre barrier or Armco, but the most of them were just off on the grass and back on track again. So you pulled it back together and you got the result that you were after. So congratulations, first place, and obviously first place in the pro class. So there's a good haul of points there for you going into the next round. And we'll see how you go with the weather and that sort of stuff, depending on what the forecast is going to be. So congratulations, Ryan. Well done tonight, and look forward to next week. Thanks very much.
Cheers, Steve. Cheers, boys.
So, everybody, that's it. Done and dusted. Special thanks to Mark Johansson, who I've got here in the booth. Our web designer and stats man is also Mark. The producer tonight, Kobe Jordan, and the announcers, James Watson and myself, Steve Hoppert. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, a tailored package can be arranged, and just contact us on that email that's on your screen at the moment, Aussie Outlaws Racing @gmail.com. If you want to race, by all means, go to the website and join the Discord. And Aussie Outlaws GT3 Racing, the league ID is on your screen at the moment, 8718. If you want to race, that's the place to go. And check out those links that are currently on your screen. Show your support. Thanks very much to all our sponsors tonight. And I won't go through the list. I've been doing them throughout the race. And I'm having a seniors moment. Our next race is at Donington Park. So that's going to be a good one. Similar type of track, but also a bit more free-flowing. Donington Park, great track in England. Looking forward to that one. We'll see what the weather's like for it. So on behalf of the crew here and Aussie Outlaws and, pardon me, Checkered Flag Esports, I'm getting dry. It's time to go. So we'll catch you later. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll catch you next round.
Might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.